So I went ahead and looked at 1486 in my dad's old King James Bible. Hopefully y'all saw that video where, the 138, page 1386. We know that 86 means to eliminate. 138 is Donald Trump in simple gematria. On page 1386 is the Zechariah 11:17 verse in my dad's old King James. If you go to 1486, which is Donald J. Trump, in simple gematria fused with the 86, page 1486. You do have the 512 date, which is Mother's Day this year. And if he was to go down on 512, then he rises on the Israel anniversary date of May 14th. So that is definitely something to look at. Also on page 1486, you do have January 23rd, which would have him rising on the wolf full moon, which is everything about Moonstruck. I mean, the wolf is mentioned, or the word wolf is mentioned 30 times in that movie. And, you know, that's a big date coming up. We've got the playlist on that um, up and running, and there's a lot on it. So anyway, just started playing around. I should go to page like 348, which is the fusion in full reduction of Donald Trump. 48 with murder, 34, 348. I mean, I guess I could look at it. Well, 1348, which was 134, was on the time when it was 133. It switched to 134 on Back to the Future. It does have 187 on page 1348, the book of Obadiah. Ironically, the page number isn't on it because it's the beginning of a new book. It doesn't give you, but I can show you the next page next to it is 1349. It has 187 on it. Revelation 18:7 is a reference that it gives. 512 again is on here. Job 512. So that May 12th date is given, just like it's Acts 512 is given here. So 512 is given again. And page 348 didn't have anything. So the video that is up and running and moving, that's a fascinating video. I went ahead and uploaded the Zechariah 11:17, put it on playlist on all my channels. So I'll always have that as a reference because it's beyond fascinating. But the video of, it's 28 minutes. Maggie Gyllenhaal equals Groundhog Day in gematria. We get to work looking at all the dates. That's a fascinating video. There is a lot there. So tell me what you think. I mean, your guess is as good as mine. And when they're going to pull off this date, we know that they will pull off this date numerically. Moon, eclipse, full moon. It's going to be bounced off of more than one thing in their world. It'll be the Great Conjunction, which is something we should be looking at. Hey, why don't we just look at that? It was 7 days after the Pokey Poke, 7 days after the total solar eclipse. That was a midpoint of 2 total solar eclipses. And we should be looking at those dates nonstop all the time without fail. They should be constant. And the Great Conjunction. Oh, let's run it to, what do we want to run it to? Want to run it to Groundhog Day? Ooh, no kidding. The Great Conjunction to Groundhog Day is 1/138. Holy cow. That's a big deal, isn't it? We just got through looking at Groundhog Day. And from that total solar eclipse of 12/14/2020, 11:45 days. 119 for Donald, 119 Donald. Man, oh man, that has his rising on 11/47, which is the next presidential number. Man, today just must be Groundhog Day day because it's 3 years, 1 month, 21 days. So it's it's 121 coded on that date to Groundhog Day. Man, oh man, that's crazy. Day after the Super Bowl to the Great Conjunction, 1/148. So again, there's two-way goes, three-way goes, four-way goes, there's everywhere. There's so much here. So 1/148. 148 is Donald J. Trump in simple gematria on the day after the Super Bowl from the Great Conjunction. It is 1/148 days. Wow. There's no way to ever pinpoint a day. There's too much. If we run the Great Conjunction to the total solar eclipse, 3318, 1204 is nothing gigantica. Let's do the total solar to the total solar. 2020's total solar, which was the midpoint of the X across America, well, that's right. They were 2422 days apart, so it's a perfect half of that. It's 1/21/1. So you have 121 Antichrist in here. 3325. We do know about that lunar eclipse on 325, which transfer portals over to October 28th, which was also the date of a lunar eclipse. That's a really big deal, which, by the way, that puts the midpoint. What if he goes down on January 8th and rises on the transfer portal day, or goes down on January 29th and then, because remember, the transfer portal date is, it's January 10th, 2022, but each year on January 10th, you are Janus Tenet. Janus, the month that looks backwards and forwards. Tenet, the day that looks backwards and forwards. So I don't really know how to reconcile that, but excuse me. Let's run these dates now to our May 4th date. The Run for the Roses, the Dance into the Fire. 12/37, 3/4/20. Nothing much there. Let's run the Great Conjunction to it. It's not a lot there for that either. We go to the 12th. Now we're talking. You do have 38 code. 12/38. That May 12th date is fascinating because that has him right. That would have him rising. But May does have a full moon this year, the month of May, which is all about the divine feminine. And if you were going to link it up to the Donnie Darko date, excuse me, of IPAC God of him rising up through a full moon, he would have to go down Tuesday, May 21st and rise with that full moon in Sagittarius. I tell you what that is. That's what he was born under. He was born with the sun in Gemini, moon in Sagittarius. And that's what May 23rd is. Hmm. It is day 144 for the 144,000. When it's a non-leap year, it's day 143 with 222 left in the year. This year, that full moon is on day 144 for the church with 222 left in the year since it's a leap year. That's May 23rd. Oof. That would have him going down May 21st. Mm. That is really fascinating, isn't it? I guess I need to start a new playlist. Mm, May 21st. Yeah. Okay. All right. Love you. He would rise on the same sun moon combination that he was born into. He would be born again with the same. What do you think?